When we stop, we gon' get it done. Get it when we start, we gon' get it done. Start when we stop, we gon' get it done. Anthony's World.
How do you stay motivated in this industry?
Man, I'm just.
Dude, it's competitive.
Oh yeah, extremely.
So how are you staying motivated?
I'm a competitor naturally, and I've always I played sports growing up, and I've always been into and I compete with myself more than anybody. It's just it's something I want, if you want something, you'll be motivated to do it. Imagine if it's a pretty girl, right? And you want her, would you be motivated to get her? You'll be trying to get flowers. You'll try to talk to her. You'll listen to what she's talking about. You'll do all these things to get this girl. That'll be your motivation. Or let's say if you broke and someone's like, okay, I'll give you this much money, but you have to wash the roof of this every day. If you want the money, you're going to wash the roof. Figure it out. Because that's what you want. So same thing with anything. And that's how I feel about music, film, and every other thing that I do. It's I'm motivated. I love doing what I do. Because if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be motivated to do it. There's several things. I know several people that make money at different things around me, and I'm not motivated to do the things that they're doing because it's just not my passion. So it's just I'm not going to get into this or get into that just because it's money involved, because I just I genuinely don't love it. And if I don't love something, I'm not going to, everything I do, I'm going to give you 120%.
Yeah. Do you have any mentors in the industry?
Several. I have several mentors. The biggest mentor of all is Jamie Foxx, which is the GOAT. I have Dave Brown. I have a lady named Leslie that I work with. I have, they go on and on. I know I'm missing people. Thomas Duncan, Datari Turner, Alex Avant, my boy George. George, I never know how to say your last name, bro. How do we say your last name? Nobody. I'm gonna call him Georgie P.
Yeah, Georgie P.
So many,
Yo, that's sticking, dog. That's sticking.
Georgie P.
Georgie P.
Okay, we got Georgie
from
P.
here on. Georgie P. Georgie. It's
so many. My bro Cash. It's just. It's so many that I could name, and not only the ones that that's my friends or that's around me, but then you have your social media, your YouTube, people that you may not necessarily know, but you follow what they do and what they have going on, which they become your mentors as well from a distance. So it's just so many.
So how did getting in touch with someone like Jamie Foxx elevate, your mindset and your career? That's crazy.
That's humongous. And the way I met him was on a movie set in Atlanta, actually. When I originally met him, and I was just on the movie set as an extra, and he was there. He was like, "Do anybody got talent in here?" It just so happened to be a break in between scenes. I was like, "Me," and he was like,
"Took your shot."
Nah, he was like,
"Did you take your
sure?"
shot?
Oh, of course I took my shot. That. And it was so crazy because during that movie set, when you talk about obstacles, everybody was like, "You can't talk to him, you can't do this, you can't do that." I was like, man, if I get my shot, I'm taking it. Right? So he asked that question, and I was like, me. So I asked him to listen to my music. He was like, okay, we're gonna listen to it later, whatever. So I was persistent, and he actually listened to it, and he was like, oh shit, that's dope. So I was like, play it out loud, you know what I mean? And he was like, all right, we'll see or whatever. And then I was like, could I perform it? He was like, now you're doing too much, right? But I was like, I knew if he played the song out loud, I asked him, I said, well, can I introduce the song if you play it out loud? He said, yeah. So I knew that if he did that and gave me that mic, I was just gonna perform. I wasn't even gonna, I was gonna take my shot. Yeah. And they told me not to do that, so it was a crazy situation because it was either I was gonna perform and be the hero and everybody go crazy, or I was gonna perform and get kicked off the movie set because they told me not to do it, right? So they end up playing it, and I performed, and it went crazy, and that was the start of our relationship.
That's awesome. Your biggest thing is how teaching people to accept themselves and loving themselves with that inner peace and stuff like that. How do you do that? Because in today's society that we live in, it's everyone is fucking stuck on social media looking at everyone else and talking about, oh, this person has that or this has that. What's your tip?
So one of the things that's really important to remember is if you stay in your lane, there's no traffic.
Yo, that's mic drop.
But
cut that up.
but the thing is, because we lack confidence in who we are, self-worth, we've been through trauma, or we have a lot of insecurities within ourselves because of we've been bullied or whatever we went through when we were younger, we compare ourselves to other people. So we're constantly being lost in what other people are doing and becoming and being. And so then what happens? We lose ourselves. You know, so for many, many years, this was my challenge. You know, I was very self-conscious about my physical appearance. Like when I was growing up from like a young age to like my late 20s, I was very lanky, right? Really skinny. And so, you know, there were just with relationships and with being bullied and you know, other people's opinions and perceptions and words that they would say to me, I created the story in my own mind that I wasn't good enough and that I'm different and that there's something wrong with me. You know, so being lanky and skinny is not good enough. Like you're different. You know, you're not like everybody else. So then I become my own worst enemy by realizing that, you know, I can't be confident in myself because I'm the way that I am, you know. So that was one of my biggest challenges, was just not being able to accept myself for who I am, you know. And so that was my fight. And after all these relationships that I settled for, and, you know, and there was definitely one there that, you know, I wanted so much, but no matter what I did, it was actually a couple that I gave so much time, money, investment, energy, you know, I showed up as much as I can to prove that I was worthy of their love, and I still got rejected, which again, you can create the story in your mind that, well, they're rejecting you because you're skinny. They're rejecting you because you're not good enough. Yeah. Right? So that over time created my own mind of, you know, you're not lovable. You know, if people don't approve of you, then you're not good enough. You're not lovable, right? So again, it was always like the outside world is like conditioning you and programming you to think and feel a specific way about yourself, which is not their responsibility. It's your fucking responsibility to show up for yourself and develop a strong fucking loving relationship with yourself. So you have your own fucking back. So you're your own best friend. And so it doesn't matter about the external. It matters about you and how you fucking see yourself.
So I always tell people this. I always tell people that you should, number one, be able to make double your income from your daily job. You should do that for a minimum of 3 months in a row. If you do double your income that you make from your job 3 months in a row, and you have saved up 6 months of bills.
Yeah, reserves.
That's like 6 months of bills, high number, that's your reserves.
Yeah.
And then you're making for at least 3 months in a row double your job. Then I'm like, you need to start entertaining that. You need to start entertaining that.
Because at the end of the day, if you never actually entertain it, you're never actually going to take that action.
Exactly. And then, you know, you need to talk to yourself and your personal situation and see where you're at, what you feel, and how you're going to go with that.
Yeah, so I feel like the reserves is also something super important too. I mean, the more money you have in the reserve, the more peace of mind that you're going to have, the less stress you're going to have. I
love that. And I don't know if this, have you noticed the shift in the industry lately? More people are coming together, and it's not so much competition. It's like good. Like I feel like I've seen a lot of people change over the years, and I feel like it could be just our niche because we are all getting older.
I feel like,
have you seen it? Like I have seen it.
I have to a degree.
And there's always going to be shitty shit.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. There's a lot of egotistical people in a market where you're supposed to completely remove ego, which is quite interesting for me to see sometimes. But I mean, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is just people are getting older. I mean, some people, you see them climb to the top and then fall very quickly. And that's something that also humbles me as well, to remain on my 2 feet and not go too crazy with certain things, because I don't want to be putting myself and my family through that. And also, I've also grown as a person. You know, I'm married, I have kids now. So when it comes to, like, I guess the social media space and trading, there's a lot of new people coming in, and there's a lot of people who are also evolving and adapting and changing as well. But honestly, like, as long as the trading industry could be more helpful towards each other, instead of it being like super toxic, like, no, this is the way to trade, you don't actually make money trading, that's what I feel like is ultimately more important. But at the end of the day, like, you'll see comments on anybody's Instagram page like, oh, this guy doesn't trade, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like, the person that is focused on another person and is talking about them negatively, at the end of the day, it's just a low quality person. They're really not going to get anywhere from my experience. Exactly. They're not going to get anywhere from my experience, right? Instead of somebody else coming, because imagine a group of people like coming together to ultimately just build, network, and focus on how we can all do better versus a group of people coming together and being like, you know what, let's talk about other people.
Yep.
Where's
And
the
even-
quality and the value?
And
in
even like I come to my friends with investments outside of Forex. Like, let's talk about investments outside of Forex. Let's build each other up. Let's grow. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
that? For sure.
So, like, what's a big goal that you want for,
I want to never fly commercial again.
Hey,
Fuck
I love
commercial
that.
shit. I can't stand it, dude. I see people get on a jet, and I'm like, all right, motherfuckers, one day.
Yeah.
That video that you posted, I was like, okay, that's going on the fucking goal board right there. I literally put it down.
So, are you big on goal boards? Do you write your goal boards like that?
I'm not usually, but I have been recently, and it's because I feel like a lot of individuals, unless it's in sight, it's out of mind completely.
Okay.
And I always base it off of one example. Did you ever hear about like the candy bowl office experiment?
Why does this sound familiar?
So there was an office that did a candy bowl experiment. Long story short, they put a candy bowl on everybody's desk, and then they measured how much candy was eaten. And at the end of each day, for a week straight, they moved it a foot away. Until the last day of the week, it was in the conference room with the door closed, and nobody ate the fucking candy. It's because out of sight, out of mind. Well, I feel like a lot of individuals coast through life because they don't look at their goals. Dude, even my phone background has 168 pounds because I need to hit that weight to be able to box the weight class that I want to box at.
Love that.
So it's like I always want to have something.
Yeah.
So I'm a believer in seeing what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
That's why even my dream cars growing up, I bought the Audi R8 car and the G-Wagon car.
Mm-hmm.
Little toy cars were just sitting on my fucking desk while I was working every day, and I was like, there we go.
That's
Like,
epic.
fucking
Because I have a on every single one of my phones.
Yeah.
I put like something that I want, and every time I've done that, within 2 years, I've bought it.
Yeah, you got it.
So I actually, when I was younger, I had a wall in my house, and I lived in a penthouse like loft.
Yeah.
And it was old. Like, it wasn't like, I say penthouse because it was the penthouse, but it was like not like your fucking modern day Miami penthouses.
Yeah.
This was like
just
in
the top of the building.
it was in the fucking ghetto, in the loft style, 1 bedroom. But I had a ladder, like a huge ladder, and I would get on top of my ladder, and I ended up writing on the entire wall.
That's
Before
sick.
I left the place, the entire wall that was white was covered in black writings, and I would write down. I would get up there and I would draw a bubble, and I'd be like, business plan 1, and I would write out an entire
dope.
business plan, and then I would write goals over here, and I would spend hours and hours and hours just writing,
That's
and
so
then I would write it on the mirrors, like
So
my bathroom
important.
mirrors.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
So-
I printed off my vision board and I put it in every bathroom in my whole house.
Yeah,
So every
that's-
time I go in a bathroom, it's on the mirror.
And it sounds like a freakish thing like to do, but it's kind of like it works, man. I used to like, it's even like the little things like a grateful rock. I had a grateful rock, and every time I'd put my hand in my pocket, I'd touch it. I'd say 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for in life.
That's cool, man.
And it's just like, it would be something simple like, I'm grateful for my toes.
But see, what you just said right there, I want to break this down right quick. I think it's one of the most powerful and undermined things out there, period. And the reason why is because a lot of people, like you said, live in their fucking head. Yeah. All right? I want you to do an exercise with me right quick because I think it'll be cool. All right? I'm going to count to 10 out loud, and I want you to count to 10 in your head with me, and don't stop until I tell you to, okay?
Just count to 10?
Yeah, just count to 10 in your head. Don't say it out loud. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep counting, and don't stop. Keep counting. Now say your name out loud.
Anthony Williams.
What happened to the count?
That went away.
It stopped. Because when you vocalize, you stop all internal thoughts. A lot of individuals never achieve their goals or live a positive life because they are internalizing negativity instead of vocalizing any positivity.
Interesting.
So every single day, they're thinking about all the bullshit they don't have, all the things they had never achieved, all the stuff that happened on a daily basis, instead of just talking about just the shit they want.
Yeah.
Do that affirmation shit, grateful shit. I do that every day. I spend 5 minutes, and I don't like pre-plan it. I just voice note my phone. I've got like a massive list. I hit voice note. I'm like, yo, July 22nd, 2022. It's in there, and then I just say what's ever on my mind. I just mind dump about the things I want to achieve and what I want my life to look like.
I'm a very fucking selfish person. I'm a very selfish person. Like, I'm building this shit for me 100%.
Yeah.
And so, like, is it going to affect his life? Yeah, but it's my job to make sure that it doesn't affect it negatively.
Right.
And it affects it in the right way.
Right.
Because, like, I'm not going to stop building, like, I know so many people that stop their life when they have kids. They stop doing what they want to do. They stop living their life. And
I have something to say about
that was, like, the number one thing I told Megan. I was like, look, we're not fucking changing our life. Like, our son was 2 weeks old at a brewery. We had him 2 weeks later. We're at a fucking brewery outside. Like, I'm not changing my life. Like Declan was growing up, like, fucking, we're playing beer pong. And he was, like, strapped on us. Me and Megan would just play beer pong. like, we're not changing our fucking life for you. You're going to live inside of our life.
Dude, I get it 100%. I said that to my wife because, again, it was a very weird decision for me to have kids. There was a lot of shit that happened. So it was like, I always said I wanted them. And then when it became a reality, like, oh, shit's about to happen, I went into full fucking panic mode. My wife is like, figure your shit out or I'm leaving.
Get yourself
like,
together.
Figure it out, dude. So we figured it out. We ended up having kids. But it was like before and afterwards, I literally sat her down and I'm like, I refuse to be that fucking soccer dad. It's not going to happen. I'm not driving the kid to fucking practice to sit there, to sit on my fucking ass and drink on the couch. It will not happen. I'm doing shit. We're traveling. We're making money. I'm working on my goals. I'm working on my fitness. I'm putting me first so I can give you the best version of me. Yep. And I'm like, I refuse to do that shit. I hate it. I think it's fucking weak. And I've attacked a lot of fucking people for it. I think just put like kids are born and then everything else is gone. And the only priority is the kid. But then you neglect your health and your mindset and your business. And then that kid has got to grow up like us.
Yep.
They got no fucking money. They got no purpose. They got no one to look up to because the only thing they did is show up. And that's where I go against that saying of like, presence is the only thing that matters.
No.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Facts.
Yeah.
Presence is dope. I agree. I would love to have that support. All right. Having that support means a lot. But it sucks if you're in a fucking shack. Then the presence doesn't matter because you're like, Dad, why are we living in a fucking house with no roof? Why can't we feed ourselves? Why do I got to bathe with my fucking brothers in 4 inches of water?
Right.
Right? Like, it's so stupid.
I said that to me. That's like, Megan's like, well, you know, something like, but I'm like, you got to remember, like, I worked my ass off so you can be present. That's your job is to be present. It's not my job to be present. It's my job to instill morals and the reality of the world. Not like it's to teach them how to do things. It's not there. Like it's not there.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest, I would say, conflict with in households and marriages and couples. And like when they have children, they put their kids first. And it's like, no, like that should never. You should always put, you know, yourself, then your partner, then your kids. Because if there's no foundation, then there's nothing at all.
You know, we're still 5 years in. I'm the CEO, still sleeping underneath my desk. That shit doesn't just stop overnight, right? But to answer, you know, what keeps you going and what goals do you have? You know, that's tough because again, you know, you have milestones that you're striving to get to, but those goals, you know, you reach these goals, but those milestones, you know, they never stop. Right. And so for me, you know, I have goals. I have financial goals that I want to get to some of my leadership team. You know, I want to put them in a financial position to be very, very comfortable. I obviously, as we get into this new headquarters, go nationwide. But one of my personal goals is to, you know, continue to solidify Visionary Meals to what it is and grow. But then I have other business ventures that I'm going to be diving into. And one of the reasons other than some gaps in the market that I see that I want to dive into them is honestly just to challenge myself. I'm like, okay, like
now you're getting fun. Now it's fun.
Like
now it gets fun.
Right.
This
I'm
is
like,
when it gets
Josh, you did it once, but like, can you do it again?
Can you do it?
Like,
can you do it 3 times?
Can you do it
4
after
times?
that?
Can
And
you,
then
or
again?
can you do it differently?
Right. And like, what are you going to do differently? Like, what are you going to work smarter, not harder, right? So, you know, and continuing to work on the business, not in the business, right?
And those, I'm not going to call them setbacks, but those mindsets and things that happen along the business, because we always have setbacks and stuff, different stuff that happens. But when they happen, you realize like you grow a lot during them. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's a ER doctor, and he was telling me that when kids get sick, their brains have to pre-program itself in order to heal itself. Interesting. And he was talking about how comparing that to life, like how every time you literally get set back with something, your mind has to think of a new way out of it,
right?
And therefore it propels you to growth.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool because everyone's heard me say it many times, put your back against the wall. Like,
Facts.
how are
I was
you
just going to say it, bro.
Like, put your back against the wall. And so like the fact that you're like starting new projects and trying to expand and trying to enter a new industry, that is it. And like everyone like doesn't want change until change happens.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
No one wanted Amazon when Amazon was nothing, but now everyone uses Amazon on a daily basis. Right? So like everyone wanted to go into a doctor's office every single day. You know, or not every day, but everyone would go to a doctor's office to get their medication, all that. Now you can just hop on a call. And no one thought like, oh, I want to go see my doctor, you know?
Yeah.
So like putting yourself in those situations and becoming crazy, like inside of that love the craziness is like really the coolest part of it. So what was some things that you have like, you know, had to do with to cope with being in the NFL? Like, cause I know like it's gotta be mentally exhausting. What like, obviously besides just staying focused, what are some things that you have to do to like, really do?
A big thing I've done recently is I had like I had a mental health coach for a while. You know,
when I got released, it was really hard. I was on a team for almost 8 years. It was really hard for me. And I found out that I can't do it alone. So it's nice to kind of have somebody to help you. So mental health coach and learn stuff. And, I don't want to get too much into it because it's kind of like it's my little thing, but it was very helpful for me.
What is more important than right now?
Am I supposed to answer it out loud?
Yeah, one word.
Nothing.
Now I'm going to ask again, but I want you to feel that answer. I want you to feel your mind, your heart, everything agree. What's more important than right now?
Nothing.
Is there anything else? Is there anything other than this moment? No, so anytime you ask that question, all that noise of the crown and the root, what's more important than right now? Nothing. Feel your body relax instantly. That coherent state's just like, the fuck am I worried about? There is nothing else but right now. And my electrical energy immediately comes back to me. I come out of my head, back into my heart. I'm whole. So that's just that one. And I could teach you a whole bunch of other cool shit related to just those.
We about to do some crazy shit. I love that.
Shit. This is my favorite conversation.
So I've got 2 open, you said?
You got both present centers open, but it's a gift and a curse, right? It's like, imagine carrying a sword around just tucked through your belt without a sheath. Shit would cut the fuck out of your leg, right?
Yeah.
You can sheath the shit just with something like this. Like sometimes I want my crown to run. Because the way the crown works is like a computer program. The reason we think about the future and the past a lot instead of where we're at, if this, then that. Isn't that how we program a computer? If this happens, do this thing. Mm-hmm. My brain goes,
basic code.
If I went back to that conversation, if I had said this different, what would have happened? And if I had done this different, what would have happened? Playing chess. I'm like, fuck. If I went back to that 6th turn, right?
It'd be different.
Right? And so your brain is, it's picturing alternate realities and timelines for me to choose a different future trajectory. Mm-hmm. Hey, if I say this, what's that? Oh, yeah. Like, it's good sometimes to be unpresent. These people that say ADD and ADHD, you need a pill and all that stuff. No, you just need to know how to fucking control it when it's out of control.
You see a lot of people trying to compete with each other.
Yeah, man.
And it's fucking
it's so toxic, dude.
Yes, it's so toxic, and I hate it. And that's the biggest thing that I hate about my industry. But at the end of the day, I'm at a point now where it's like, I used to get mad, and I used to get angry, and I used to judge people for like you think you have it figured out and all this. And it's like, but if I was in their shoes, I'd probably be trying to do the same thing or doing the same thing. So I can't judge them anymore. I learned a long time ago and along this journey that things are what they are, and they're going to continue to be what they will continue to be.
That's right.
And I know that sounds very redundant in saying that, but it's like, it's the truth. It's the fucking truth. And so I have no more bad blood, no more hating, no more judging, no more. It's just pure understanding that it's just seasons of fucking life. And we all go through it.
Well, it's funny. It's like the way that you describe that is pretty much like a mantra of Stoicism, right? Which again, the only thing that you can control is your actions, your intentions, and yourself, right? Your own soul. Everything else is indifferent to you, right? Like the people around you is indifferent, the circumstances around you are indifferent. You know why? Because you can't control it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? And it's always been like that. It's human nature, and it's just the nature of the world. You can't control everything.
Yep. And there is this huge shift in the world where
100%.
It's so incredible. It's to just watch and see that people are becoming powerful and believing in themselves and great and talking about different things. And it's like, it's weird. Like I feel like there's this high conscious level happening.
Why do you think? I have a theory. I'll say the theory. I want to know why you think that's happening, because it's happening right now.
Okay, so we're obviously really seeing it. Why do I think it's happening? I think certain things were put in place and that happened for that to be, but I think people are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And there's just this energy of the world right now that I'm just seeing, and it's just truly incredible. The people around me, and like I feel selfish because I feel like it's only people around me, but everyone else around me is telling me. But like, I just think people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and it's like, fuck you, I'm gonna get my shit. I'm gonna do this. And then the more that I see it, man, they're like, I'm doing everything that I do now because of other people and for other people now. And it's just truly like it. Like I'm like lately, like the last I would say like 6 months, I have had this overwhelming joy of everything. And I heard a quote that people don't know the difference in anxiety and excitement.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I started realizing, I have such bad anxiety. And then I realized I don't have anxiety. I get really excited about things. And like, it's like that first date, you know, or that going out to this club or going out to somewhere else. You get there and you're like, I have anxiety about going out. No, you're just really fucking excited.
Yeah.
And like, I am just truly so passionate and excited about life now. And like everything, man. Like, honestly, there's times where I've been lately, I'll just sit in my fucking room and I'll just start crying of excitement and happiness and joy. And it's just like, I got the best shit around me. And so I just think there's been this energy shift in the world that's just like, call me a fucking hippie, but like, there's an energy shift in the world that's just like, people are excited about life.
I'll be
again.
less hippie. All right. So what I think happened.
Andrew
Once
Tate?
again, this is I think Tate's a byproduct, right? I think Tate's a really big byproduct of it all, right? So I think what happened is I think the internet opened up a bunch of doors, right? And I think that the power that be sort of lost a little bit of control, right? And then Trump accidentally got elected. I think he accidentally got elected. I don't think anyone really saw that coming, right? And then I think everyone panicked. I think the powers that be panicked. This is pretty conspiracy theory shit. I think they were scared of Trump, right? Because he's not a fucking team player.
He can't be bought.
He can't be bought because he doesn't give a fuck. His ego's too powerful to be bought, I think. So I think that they may have released a disease, not a disease, what do we call it? Are we allowed to say COVID? We can say COVID, right?
Yeah, fucking.
All right. I think they might
CV-19.
They might have released something because I think the whole world was sort of Trump was fucking shit up. So I think that they released that. I can say all this, right?
Yes, you can.
So I think
Trump was fucking shit up.
I think Trump was fucking shit up, and I think they released that because they weren't sure what to do, right? So they just sort of blow up the world. Now, I think they sent everyone into this, like, you know, into this weird, they tried to do like a big reset. And I think that the problem is what they weren't counting on was a lot of people waking up. So I think a lot of people came out of that really confused. And there's a large, I'll get to more just simple emotions, stay away from the Trump shit. But I think that a lot of people came out of that and they started to feel something different, right? Like, obviously people generally on the radical left or mainstream media or my mom or all these fucking weirdos are now confused about simple things, and they're attaching themselves to really weird identities. But I think what happened is people like me, people like you, sort of started sitting back and be like, damn, everybody's really confused. Mm-hmm. And I think that true men, true leaders, when they see everyone being confused, you get more confident that you need to be somebody who's confident, right? That you need to find more information. You need to have a better understanding. And I think that, like, for example, Andrew Tate, he says things very interesting, but if you really get down to his message, like, he has his shit together.
Yes.
And I think that he probably saw the window and was like, shit, man, we need leaders.
This is my time, yeah.
We need leaders. Shit's a fucking mess. And I think that that's part of what's going on for me, right? I think that a bunch of people always call me a sociopath. I've been called a sociopath a lot because a lot of times my emotions don't match up with what they should be. So I spent my whole life, and a lot of times when I should feel, Dana asked me the other night, she's like, well, do you feel sad for that? And I was like, I don't feel sad. Like, if I'm telling you the fucking truth, but I spent a lot of time like pretending emotions and feeling anxiety and not sure why I'm feeling it and not really understanding all these emotions. And that's sort of one of the big things I'm doing right now is I'm like sitting with these emotions, sitting with these inputs and figuring out like, oh, this isn't anxiety. This is excitement. Mm-hmm. Oh, this isn't like a really bad manic session. Like, I'm just fucking passionate and excited about life. Like, when my ego's really ramped up, it's like, no, this is confidence. This isn't something bad, you know? So I think that I'm sorting through maybe the same thing some of these other people that have popped up, right? Like the Tates and things like that I'm sorting through the emotion and realizing, no, I think I was part of something else. If we want to call it the Matrix, we can call it the fucking Matrix. But I think I was part of something else where I was maybe raised and manipulated a little bit through media and shows that I was a little confused, right? I was a little confused with like, I need to really be humble, or I need to, you know, I can't interact with too many, all these different things. And that's one of the biggest things I'm cleaning up right now is like if you ask me if I'm sad, I'm not going to pretend I'm sad anymore. I'm not going to, I'm becoming very aware of all those emotions. And I think a lot of them were just wrong, dude. And I think there's a lot of people out there right now that are mixed up in all those emotions because the world's really fucking hard and really confusing, and they don't know how to make sense of them. And then they're ending up in really weird spots, and then they're being confirmed by really weird media sources or whatever to stay fucking confused, or they have power in being confused.